and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Faith and Freedom. I'm Shemane Nugent, and I'm with my husband, Ted.
I'm her spirit manager on the Spirit Wild Ranch. Greetings, everybody. Tell everybody you know there's a real America voice, faith and freedom. Great information from a great woman who happens to be my partner, my soulmate, Little Miss Dangerous, Queen of the Forest, Shemane Nugent. Not Charmaine.
No.
Shemane.
Shemane. Well, Ted, I brought Ted on specifically because we're going to show you some footage, a real life situation that happened that was very traumatic, happened to me 2 days ago. And I learned a valuable lesson from
life and death
lesson. And Ted is involved in it, and we're going to walk you through. You're not going to want to miss it. I hope I can get through it. It's terrifying. Yeah. So stay tuned. But we also have Matt Landman. He's going to be talking about the truth about chemtrails and geoengineering.
Happening right now.
But first, I want to tell you about the Wellness Company, our premier sponsor. You know, this administration has made a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there's only so much the government can do. And that if we really want to make America healthy again, it starts at home with each one of us. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. Now, you've seen the Wellness Company doctors, and you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. But Ted, we got to be prepared, right?
Well, we have fire extinguishers, we have spare tires, we have first aid kits, and fire extinguishers literally in every other room and in every vehicle. And the Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens. It's really a great product, and every conscientious, managed home should have them. So get the Wellness Company. She'll give you the link here in a second.
And they've got a series of prescription medical kits. We're going to get them all. There's one for mold and allergies. There's a travel emergency kit, a field emergency kit, a radiation emergency kit, and they all contain life-saving medications and guidebooks for the proper use of these medications. Plus, you know, we just have to be prepared. And I think it's really important that we are prepared. We're going to talk about that coming up in the next segment, and how you can prepare in other ways. But if you're looking to lose weight as well, you can trust the Wellness Company. They've got products to help and so much more. So do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Go to www.twc.health/Shemane
on the screen
and order. What is it, Ted?
There's a promo code, Shemane. Save 10%. Shemane, Shemane.
And save 10%. So, Ted, I brought you in also because I want to get your perspective on what happens when we've got leaders, elected officials who stop enforcing the law and chaos fills the gap. What do you think about what's going on in Minneapolis specifically?
Well, I won't give you my perspective because I actually think. I'm a thinker. I'm a critical thinker. I pay attention to the world around me. And you cannot rely on the government, even in the best of circumstances. But when you have a government, when you have elected employees that turn on we the people who they work for and abandon law and order and encourage violent crime in these sanctuary cities, it's the most dangerous time in America when leaders of blue states, the Democrat Party, are actually encouraging, welcoming, red carpeting illegal, dangerous child molesters, child sex traffickers, carjackers, murderers, rapists. Tim Walz in Minnesota and Mandani in New York City and other Democrats in sanctuaries, giving sanctuary to violent criminals. I'm telling you, thank God we have President Trump, because what ICE is doing, immigration custom enforcement, they're enforcing the laws on behalf of the legal families, and the sanctuary city maniacs are literally on the side of the violent criminals. So if you're not communicating with your elected employees, they're not elected officials. We're the electing officials. Yeah. Communicate with your mayor, your senator, your congressman, your attorney general, Minnesota. He's on the side of invaders. Well, we're for immigration. We're for banking, but only when you withdraw from your account. We're not for bank robbing. They're literally for illegal invasion immigration. So if you're not speaking out, the enemies of America would like to thank you for your apathy. Don't be apathetic. Speak up. State police trooper commander, sheriff, your city chief of police, your game wardens, your senator, your congressman, your alderman, your state representative, your governor's office. We should be hammering them, especially my friends in Minnesota and New York and New Jersey. It's just heartbreaking.
It is. And there's also a massive fraud investigation in California.
Oh, my God, I know.
Free health care to illegals. Now, you know, I think we ought to take care of our veterans a little bit better before we start dishing out free health care. And, you know, we've had Doge. Where's that money, Ted? Why aren't we getting, I heard you talk about this on your show because you just filmed your show. Why aren't we getting that money back? You know, why should we be, you know, I don't want to start controversy.
I do.
But
I didn't start it. I'm acknowledging it.
Maybe this year we don't pay taxes? I don't know.
You know, bottom line, if you really look at the abuse, the fraud, the dishonesty, the thievery, the corruption, the criminality in the so-called welfare system, people who really find themselves under hard times are not getting the assistance that we taxpayers are providing, because you got some Somalians who came into this country, married their brother for a fake invasion, and you have these neighborhoods full of invaders that are sucking blood. The percentage of invaders getting our tax dollar paid health care is an atrocity. It's like Planet of the Apes meets the cuckoo's nest. So speak up. What's going on in Minnesota is the tip of the iceberg. We're talking trillions of dollars. Shemane, I believe for every $1 million in our taxes that go for welfare systems, I'll be shocked if $1's worth of real benefits to needy people is accomplished. $1 out of millions, because they're ripping us off. Minnesota, we're speaking up. We need to get Mike Lindell, gov.com. I think we're going to find it. We'll put it on the screen. Mike Lindell, great American, great patriot, great warrior. Minnesota, you could fix the state of Minnesota with Mike Lindell as your governor. That should be the battle cry in the great state of Minnesota, just like Colorado. Victor Marks, Victor26.com. Victor Marks, he could fix Colorado because it's a suburb of San Francisco right now politically. So we, the people, can make the difference, but not if we're silent. That's how this happens, when good people don't speak up.
And, you know, I'm sure all of the Minnesotans, how do you say that, Minnesotan?
Minnesotiacs.
Minnesotiacs. They would have liked to have an option on where that money, where their tax dollars were spent.
No way.
And you know what? The main problem, I think, people are getting outraged because there's no accountability. And it's not that we want to see anybody go to jail, but on
we do. Yes, I do.
On the other hand, if that happened to anybody else, that kind of fraud and waste and abuse of our taxpayer dollars, people would be going to jail. So I would love to hear from you guys. You can message me at shemane.chat@gmail.com and share this message, because Ted's right. It's up to we the people, and we've got to, they're talking about the Insurrection Act, and that's a constitutional safeguard meant to restore order. But there's some controversy about that, too. I know Americans will be scared if they see tanks going down the roads.
Let's break it down to the most sensible, common sense truth and logic. If you don't interfere with the enforcement of law by law enforcement officers, no good people will get hurt. They're not dragging American citizens out of their homes and their cars. They're dragging people that are interfering with the enforcement, getting rapists out of their neighborhood. You literally have Democrats encouraging citizens in Minnesota and elsewhere to fight the immigration customs enforcement officers who are trying to get rid of rapists and murderers and carjackers. Why would you want rapists and murderers and carjackers in your neighborhood? It's bizarro world. So I really believe that it might come to the National Guard coming in, because the forces, the insane pro-crime forces against ICE seem to be overwhelming, because Ellison, the Attorney General, what a crook, what a bad, bad man. Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, what a horrible human being. Governor Tim Walz, I don't even know if he is a human being. These people are on the side of rapists and murderers and illegal invaders. That's it in a nutshell.
And they're trying to spin it and say that President Trump is going after them. Well, yeah, President Trump is going after them because there's so much fraud and abuse. We want accountability for where our tax dollars are going. It's as simple as that.
I work really hard for mine. I'm sure you do too.
Well, Ted, can you stick around?
Who's going to chase me away?
We've got this incredible video that we're going to show you. Ted and I are going to walk you through it. And it's a terrifying wildlife encounter. So many people say, oh, it must be great to live off the land and live in the wilderness. It is, but it comes with some costs.
Yeah, some dangers. We encountered that danger. We're going to share it with you, because being prepared, like the wellness, the wellness company, we're going to put that on the screen.
Yep.
But also go to tednugent.com and go to hunternation.org. Hunternation.org is about conservatives and constitutionalists and Christians to vote, so we can have policies where we don't have to run into these horrible conditions that are brought about by the elements of Uncle Sam gone nuts.
Yep. Don't go away. You've got to watch this next segment. We'll be right back.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugent'S Total T2.
From the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC comes Nugent'S Total T2, a unique new formula that combines the ultimate free and total testosterone booster with a powerful nitric oxide booster that works in just 3 hours. Feel like a new man, leaner, stronger, with more energy and drive. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SURGE to 321-321.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
New T2 is not available in stores or on Amazon. Get your complimentary bottle now. Text SURGE to 321-321. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugent'S Thermo X absolutely free.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
I'm a J6er, and I spent 3 months in jail and about a year in prison.
I spent 4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been smeared and defamed by the media, persecuted by the government, and treated like terrorists.
In reality, J6ers are patriotic men and women, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers from all walks of life.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
And we need your help.
For just $10 or more, you're helping these patriots get mental, physical, and spiritual help.
Please scan the QR code or go to j6support.com to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
President Trump delivered on his promise to pardon January 6 defendants, but there are still 12 whose fights are far from over. Even though they've had their sentences commuted, they still cannot vote, possess firearms, receive military pensions and retirement benefits, obtain health care coverage, or secure employment. Stand in the Gap is renewing our Justice Restoration Fund to advocate for full pardons for these patriots. Please visit j6support.com or scan the QR code to support our fight for justice. Scan the QR code or visit j6support.com to make a tax-deductible donation to our Justice Restoration Fund today.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Now, before we show you the video, we want to talk to you about supporting not only this show, but this country. And there's an incredible patriot, Mike Lindell, who has put his life on the line, literally, so that we can speak here and speak freely. And we want to elect him as governor of Minnesota, but we want to tell you about MyPillow products. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code FAITH, because we've got to support patriots like Mike Lindell.
You know, if you're going to spend money on people that you love and want to give them an American-made quality product that enhances their quality of life, and I mean that, play that sentence. Somebody's transcribed that sentence, because that's what Mike Lindell represents. He's MyPillow.com. Go to MyPillow.com. I use his slippers every day. We got the dog beds. You got these MyPillow dog beds. Got the sheets and the blankets, the pillows and the bed toppers. Got the bathrobes. I got the towels. Got the we use it all. We used it all before he became a supporter of our absolute First Amendment rights. But show your love for the freedom that Mike Lindell fights for every day by supporting his great entrepreneurial, risk-taking, sacrificing MyPillow. MyPillow.com, typing the code FAITH. Is that right?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so I think what we're going to do is show you this footage since we're pressed on time. We're going to show you with the audio, Rodney. We're just going to go ahead, and while he's preparing that, I want to make a statement before you see this. Number one, it's scary, so I want you to be prepared. Number two, I'm fine. My dog Sadie is fine. But, you know, a lot of people talk about living off the land like it's this peaceful, romantic idea, and gardens and chickens and fresh eggs, which we have in abundance.
All true.
And bees and honey, and that's real. But what people don't talk about is when you live amongst wildlife, there are also real predators. And sometimes they show up when you least expect it.
And sometimes there's wild animals like African antelope. I mean, I'll tell you, in one of my segments on Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild Spirit Campfire, where a giant 600-plus pound Gemsbok attacked me, protecting her calf, and I just missed getting shish kebab by their horns, their scimitar horn lances, and I was able to kill this monster animal with my 10 millimeter. But the other African antelope is called a scimitar horned oryx because they have scimitar horns, and they use them as weapons, and almost got my wife and my dog.
And I want to warn you again, this is right outside our front door. And it was when I least expected it. Obviously, I'm taking the dogs for a walk. You're going to see it, the video, in the video that I'm walking out the door with.
And by the way, there are tens of thousands of scimitar horn oryx in Texas because we saved them from going extinct in Africa, where they were slaughtering them to raise goats and chickens and mangoes. But here in Texas, they're a renewable resource, and so they're valuable. And so there's oryx all over the Texas running free and on ranches like ours. But we have a bunch of them, and they get really dangerous when they're protecting a nearby calf.
So, Rodney, go ahead and play this video with the sound.
We gotta watch where I throw it.
Here comes Sadie. A little bit slower.
Is this all in the Ring camera?
Yeah, this is all. Now watch in the upper left corner. So I'm trying to get my dogs in to safety and screaming in the house for Ted as well. So you notice when Ted comes out, I want to preempt this. He's calm because he's prepared. Look it, he's calm.
Get them in the camera. Get in there. Go on.
They're all in the house.
Get her in the house. Yeah, I'm calm because I have a 10 millimeter Glock with 200 grain Remington Core-Lock ammunition in it, and if that animal came towards me while I was out there protecting Shemane and the dogs, I could have cut it in half like I had to do on a beautiful Gemsbach cow that was protecting her calf, but she almost killed me. That was life and death because those scimitar horns on those African animals, they're notorious for killing lions. They kill lions and leopards and African hunting dogs. It's actually a species. It's not a hunting dog. It's a species of wild dog. And so Shemane was lucky. I think her screaming stopped the charge. And there must have been a calf nearby, but they do get aggressive on occasion. And people are being killed more now with mountain lions, black bears, wolves out west because they're protected and they're not afraid of mankind. These animals are somewhat scared of us because we hunt them, and they know that when we're around, occasionally one of their members ends up missing. But this 500-pound African scimitar horned oryx charged Shemane and the dogs, and it could have been a skewer fest.
You know, I admit I should have had my gun with me. It was in the house. No. How many times do you do something and you think, oh, I'm just going to take my dogs out to go to the bathroom? For how long was that actually happen? 10, 15 seconds?
I get up in the morning and I brush my teeth and I wash up. And I get dressed and I put on my belt that has a belt tool, a folding knife, a pocket knife, a Glock 10 millimeter, and 2 magazines of real ammunition. You have never seen me unarmed and helpless. And I calmed Shemane down, but I also scolded her. There is no time you should ever be out of reach of a fire extinguisher. There is no car without a spare tire. There is no vehicle or house without first aid kits. And you should keep and bear arms always. Since we got on talking on Real America's Voice, Faith and Freedom, Shemane, somebody's been raped. Yeah. Somebody's been carjacked. Somebody's been attacked. Somebody's been punched. Somebody's been shoved in front of a train, and all the victims have one thing in common. They chose to be unarmed and helpless, a foolish, dangerous, life-threatening choice. Be sure you're a member of Gun Owners of America. Go to hunternation.org and make sure we vote for people that will support self-defense. But carry your gun. Your life is worth it.
And you know, Ted, you know me, I've become very, very spiritual lately. And
my gun is spiritual.
I think about, you know, I ask God, why did this happen? What is the lesson? Obviously, I need to carry my gun, but I do think that we need to start becoming more discerning. And when you start speaking truth, when you start walking boldly in your faith, when you stop staying quiet, resistance shows up. And sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's subtle, and sometimes it's physical. I do believe there's a spiritual component with discernment, and you got to be aware of everything. I wasn't. The Bible talks about being watchful, having eyes to see, being sober-minded. And I want to call to attention.
Sober-minded, yes.
1 Peter 5:8, a Bible verse warning believers, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. The devil actively seeks to destroy believers, much like a predator hunts its prey. So thank you. I'm so glad that you were there. I'm so glad we're okay. Sadie and I are okay. But, you know, God has been reminding me very clearly that I need to be more discerning about everything, my awareness, my surroundings. You've always taught me that, not just for ourselves, our family, but our dogs. And that, you know, living off the land isn't just about self-sufficiency. It's about responsibility.
And a higher level of awareness. We have a TV show, very successful, the number one watched outdoor sporting TV show in the history of outdoor sporting TV, called Ted Nugent, Spirit of the Wild. I have a song called Spirit of the Wild. I have an album titled Spirit of the Wild. Shemane's show is Faith and Freedom, focusing on the spirituality of God's miracle and our responsibility to be a participant in the asset column. And that starts with a higher level of awareness, more conscientious, more aware of your surroundings. And you're not only helping yourself, but you'll be an asset and a benefit to the people around you. That's why she screamed my name, because she knew that if there is a danger threatening my wife and my dogs or any innocent, that I'm armed. I'm trained. I shoot my gun every day, because the discipline, the marksmanship, hand-eye coordination, sight acquisition, the understanding of that tool and how it can make the difference between death or surviving a dangerous encounter. And so carry your gun with the Remington ammo and train more often.
And you had the opportunity of me warning you, hey, this is coming up, but a lot of times we don't. And when you got attacked by that Gemsbach, you didn't. I mean, we are surrounded every day by life and death scenarios. So Ted, thank you so much for being here, for jumping in on the show, for helping me get through that. It was extraordinarily trying
and awakening.
And thankfully, Sadie's okay. So.
And if I can wrap this up by saying that your anchovy spaghetti is spectacular, but with dove breasts added and wood ducks, it's unbelievable. Everybody, happy anniversary, 250 years of the American dream. We love you.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. For 50 years, I've watched Washington betray the American people with dishonest money. Nixon's closure of the gold window made endless debt and war inevitable. Today, our middle class, our currency, and our economy are dying in real time. In my new book, Dispatches to Future Generations, I reveal how we got here, plus the solution, gold. And that's why I'm partnering with Birch Gold Group to give you a free copy of my book along with their free info kit on gold. Click below to get both right now. Inside the info kit, you'll learn how to move your IRA or 401k into physical gold. So click below to claim your free copy of my Dispatches to Future Generations and Birch Gold's info kit today.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner for Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, but fixing a drain is such a pain. Not anymore. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Simply remove and replace. In just seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy.
Practically took me 5 seconds to replace. It absolutely made my sink look like brand new.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. How could it work so well, look so good, and install so quickly?
And forget clogging, because Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps catch debris before it goes down the drain. When the basket's full, just discard. Helps prevent clogs in your sink by catching hair, food, even jewelry. Drain Magic uses a silicone gasket that creates a watertight seal without messy plumber's putty. Look, this sink was filled hours ago and the water still remains. Press the spring-loaded stopper and the water's gone. Made of brass and finished in high-quality chrome, Drain Magic is rust-resistant and built to last.
It's made out of metal, not plastic, and it actually has some weight to it. Yeah, this is the real deal. Just looks like a new sink now.
Order your 2-in-1 drain solution, Mermaid Drain Magic, today for only $19.99. And with every order, you're going to get a Mermaid automatic toilet bowl cleaner absolutely free. Just drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of hands-free cleaning. Mermaid's ultra-concentrated formula cleans and deodorizes with every flush. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get Mermaid Drain Magic at this incredibly low price with free Mermaid toilet bowl cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3. Call or click now to order.
Call 1-800-519-3206 or visit getdrainmagic.com. So call 1-800-519-3206 or visit getdrainmagic.com. Order now.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Our dogs, as you saw in the last segment, mean the world to us. They're family, and we want to support them and give them the best supplements that we can. And when we couldn't find any, we created our own. Uncle Ted's Canine Supplements are powered by bioflavonoids. That's a plant-based boost to help your dog stay sharp, strong, and healthy. And our dogs love them. They told us they did. Okay, I want to shift gears now. Talk about transparency, technology, and the unseen environment that's going on right above our heads in the sky. Filmmaker and activist Matt Landman joins me to talk about chemtrails, weather modification, and why transparency matters more now than ever. Matt, welcome.
Me on again. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, there's so much going on in the world. I'm sorry, I'm a little like that scenario was really traumatizing. And to see it again was like super traumatizing. So I apologize. I'm a little off, but I'm back. Let's switch gears and talk about chemtrails and cloud seeding and weather manipulation. And, you know, they're not just conspiracies anymore because people are talking about it. The technology exists. It's not sci-fi, right?
No, it is not. And there's even politicians, Marjorie Greene Taylor's talking about it. Different states are banning the chemtrails. Rewind 10 years ago, people would laugh in your face. That's a crackpot conspiracy theory, geoengineering, chemtrails, whatever name you want to give it, which are synonyms. But nowadays, it has come to the forefront. The EPA is discussing it. The president's RFK is talking about it. Everyone has been chiming in, and there needs to be some clear transparency. But with states and senators coming together, I think the consciousness is rising, and it's up to us, the people, to push it on and to wake up our friends and family and our neighbors. Maybe watch the film Frankenskies, which is a film I created. Starts off in the 1920s and goes through the chronology of weather modification history and the timeline, so people can sink their teeth into it. Know that in Vietnam, the Ho Chi Minh Trail was flooded with Project Popeye. And when people grasp the history of it, they can realize that it's ongoing, and then we can wake up our friends and family and actually, raise the consciousness and do something about it.
Well, you say some governors have banned chemtrails. Governor Abbott of Texas banned chemtrails. I still see him every day, Matt. Why is that?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great point. So it's hopeful that it's being discussed and the legislation is going through, but this is above governors. It's above states. It's even above countries in some situations. And it's, more of this conspiracy of the New World Order. But these things are very high up. But we are breaking down the barriers towards transparency. But yeah, you're right. They passed legislation in Florida, and it's still ongoing. And people have hope, but it's still happening. So we need to keep pounding the pavement. And it's really, and you talked a lot about spiritual. It's a spiritual journey, this battle of light and dark. And we have an obligation to expose the darkness. And we can't just be mum, especially after the lockdowns we went through and all sorts of, conspiracy-driven things. We need to shine light on these situations and play our part as activists. And that means not being quiet. It means teaching the children well. It means pushing forward and raising the consciousness so we're not this slim percentage knowing the truth of what's really going on.
Who do you think is behind all this? You talk about one world government.
Well, the who is a big question, and people like to know the who, what, why, where, when, and how when they can so they can sink their teeth into something like this, because it's really deep and layered. You know, the rabbit hole goes really deep on a lot of subjects, especially the geoengineering chemtrails. So the WHO, it's deep, but the WHO, it involves the Department of Energy. The WHO involves NASA. NASA has an ongoing program with a budget of $80 million US per day. And they have an ongoing chemtrail program called the Charged Aerosol Release Experiment, CARE, acronym CARE. There's numerous organizations involved in the spraying. There's even a nonprofit called Make Sunsets, where you can go to makesunsets.com and donate and get carbon credits, and they'll spray in the skies with balloons to dim the sunlight that we get, which should be a treasonous crime against humanity. But because of this push, it's unreal that it is ongoing like it is. There needs to be a push for transparency. There needs to be a lot of it. And yeah, there is a one world, new world order, kind of one world government above all of this. I hope that the politicians involved are pushing for transparency, but in some situations, there's a lot of their hands are tied. So it's up to us, the people, to raise the consciousness so that it spills over, and then we can demand scrutiny, transparency, and a stop to all this.
One thing I've talked to Ted about this. I've red-pilled him on chemtrails and geoengineering, and he said, "Well, that doesn't make sense. What about our elected officials, politicians? They're breathing the same air, and I don't know about you, where you're at. I can smell it. It just smells like metal. Number one." What's up with that? Do they have some type of a magic pill, the politicians, so that they're going to be immune to it? Number two, what's in the chemtrails?
Well, that's a question that I get often, both of those questions, the ingredients and if they're spraying it, what about them and their families? And where I live in Ashland, Oregon, I live in a valley, and we get it almost nonstop. It is horrific. And the planes aren't even going towards the airport nearby. Like, all the spraying planes are going to covert bases, and people still scratch their heads and don't question things because the conspiracy is so vast that people can't question it because it would shatter their reality. Yeah, that's a great image of it right there. The ingredients are primarily aluminum, barium, strontium, but there's other components. I mean, there's holographic technology. People sample the rainwater after heavy days and then it rains the next day. And there's terbium in the sprays, which is a very expensive rare earth element that is mined out of China. It's so expensive. Why would it be in the sky? But it's used in holographic television, 3D television screens. So there seems to be agendas to make holograms in the sky. If you want to research Project Bluebeam, and maybe these solar flares that might be coming up might be predatory and part of an agenda, problem, reaction, solution scenario to even make us want chemtrails to spray more. But the components especially are aluminum, barium, strontium. And I encourage people to research how to detox aluminum. There's things like horsetail and silica that can help detox and chelate and pull these things out of your system. And the powers that be, those in the really high up that really know what's going on. They know what's being sprayed, where, and when, and they can avoid certain things. And do they have the antidote? Yeah, they had med beds. They have blood transfusion. They know exactly what's being sprayed so they can protect themselves from it. They have HEPA air filters in their limos and in their mansions and what have you. But the people that are on the bottom tiers that are waking up, we're learning how to detox and to protect ourselves. I'm really a big fan of mineralization. When we're up to speed on our minerals, which we need 120 minerals per day, and we're not getting it. It's not in our soils anymore, and we need it bioavailable. So I take a supplement of sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock to get all of my plant-based minerals that are bioavailable. And then when I'm up to speed on my minerals, I'm not a sponge absorbing these toxic metals from the sky, right?
So do you think DARPA is involved in this?
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of black ops projects ongoing, and DARPA is involved. I think that there's a couple like rogue elements of the government ongoing, and that leave politicians with their hands tied because some of these black agencies, they don't answer to anybody, and some of them seem to be actually rogue. Like the CIA was once behind Evergreen, and Evergreen was doing the spraying, but that's now a thing of the past. I believe that it's now passed over to DARPA and bigger projects. In my film Frankenskies, there's someone interviewed at the Senate, and they're talking about HARP and the projects thereof, and they said that they're done with it, that they passed it on to DARPA. So DARPA is ongoing with it, and I think that the people deserve transparency at least.
So what's the end game? What do you think? What's your personal opinion? What do you think they're striving for?
Well, if you can control the weather, control the world. Lyndon B. Johnson said that. Bill Gates, the #1 farm owner in the United States, and weather has been commoditized, just like other futures markets. Now weather is commoditized in the futures market, so you can bet on the weather. And if you know where's going to be drought stricken, you can go gobble up that land, and then the next year it doesn't have a drought anymore and it's lush farmland. There seems to be a land grab. It's a lot about greed. I mean, the big question behind it all, the why, it really depends on who you're talking to, because there's really deep spiritual implications. It's a battle of light and dark, and our sunlight is being blocked out. So really, I think that there's satanic forces behind a lot of this, but it really depends. Like if I'm talking to my grandmother, for instance, I'll explain the greed behind Bill Gates and how getting farmland and owning the weather and, droughting out Iran, and you can control the weather. You can dictate who gets storms and who doesn't. You can flood out your enemy. You can, different things like that. It's a weaponized situation here, the weather. But at the end of the day, the American people don't deserve to be droughted out or flooded out or pushed off their land. The end game is 15-minute cities and being able to push people off their land through the New World Order Agenda 2030. And by spraying aluminum, barium, strontium, which are patented fire accelerants, on forests, and then being able to precipitate lightning through the weather engineering patents and what have you. You can push people off of the land, like in Lahaina, Maui, and Palisades and what have you, and then gobble up that land for pennies on the dollar and push people into smart cities and have areas of land that are they claim unlivable, and they will push people into cities off of rural land where we are sustainable and able to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, it's not even funny anymore when you just go to what are the proposed smart cities, and you look at Lahaina, you look at Palisades, and you look at all these other places. Matt Landman, thank you so much for joining me. Where can people find you and follow you?
Please check me out at actualactivists.com and also frankenskies.com. And then I have a silver clothing line, and the coupon code FAITH is still active for your supporters. And even though silver prices are going up, I'm keeping the prices nice and low for EMF protection, and that's over at sparrowgear.com, SPERO, which is a Latin word for hope, and we need a lot of that in the world nowadays. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt. God bless. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like man over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugent'S Total T2.
From the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC comes Nugent'S Total T2, a unique new formula that combines the ultimate free and total testosterone booster with a powerful nitric oxide booster that works in just 3 hours. Feel like a new man, leaner, stronger, with more energy and drive. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SURGE to 321-321.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
New T2 is not available in stores or on Amazon. Get your complimentary bottle now. Text SURGE to 321-321. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugent'S Thermo X absolutely free.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. But to really inflate this offer, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. You get it all. An incredible value for one low price. Call or go online to order now.
To order, call 1-800-976-9718 or go to getbullseyepro.com. So call 1-800-976-9718. That's 1-800-976-9718 or order online at getbullseyepro.com. Order now.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. You know, living off the land isn't all that, it is all that it's cracked up to be, but there's a lot more that goes into it. We do get our own honey. We have bees. We get an abundance of eggs, and we have an abundance of venison, wild game. I want to talk to you about what happened to me. If you're just watching this part, go back and watch the second segment of this show so you could see. In fact, I'm going to play the video of what happened. But first, I want to show you what attacked me, what rushed me. It's about a 400 to 500 pound scimitar horn oryx. And it's all white. It's probably the size of a small horse. And it's got huge horns that could literally rip you in two. There's another animal called a gemsbok. They're the same, they're similar families, but different. A gemsbok has black markings and it looks like it's got black stripes across its eyes. There it is. And those horns go straight back. We had gemsbok on our property a few years ago, but had them for a while, and they attacked Ted. That's what Ted was talking about. And they also attacked our dog. And he had a hole in his chest, and we rushed him to the vet. Amazingly, I don't know how, but that hole went in 6 inches and missed all the vitals. It's just a miracle that happened. But so I want to talk to you about living off the land. And a lot of people don't realize this, but you know, when we have a fenced in, we have a high fence enclosure in Texas, a small ranch, and the animals, guess what? They mate and they have babies. And this oryx had a calf nearby, and I didn't see it to this moment. I don't know where it is, but it got threatened. And I want to show you the part that was really scary. I don't know if this came up when Ted was on. I walk out, and you could see it was just casual. I'm thinking, I don't need my gun. I'm just taking the dogs to go to the bathroom. Now, before it shows up, you could see Sadie kind of waddling. She's had hip problems and neck problems, and she's slow moving. But when she actually goes, we call it the poop zone. She actually goes into this area that's 30 yards from our front door. I take them out, they go to the bathroom, and she was literally squatting, and this oryx came in. I'll never forget. Like I looked, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's inches away from Sadie. Now it could have, again, ripped her apart. And all it did was nudge her. By the grace of God. Thank you very much. And then when it starts, you know, I'm calling for her, and Sadie's partially deaf, but I can see that she starts coming. And it's interesting because Jackson, our 1.5-year-old Labrador puppy, and our German Shepherd had both retreated to the garage, the shelter of the garage. They probably knew that this was a beast that they didn't want to mess with. And I'm so glad, because what happened with Ted was the Gemsbach had a calf, and our dog Happy at the time went and, I don't know, doing what dogs do. And the Gemsbach came out of nowhere and started attacking Happy. Ted came out, started attacking him. And Ted was, he had his hand on the Gemsbach's head. That's how close he was, by the grace of God. I don't, that Gemsbach knows, you know, you think about your fingers, you know, without even having to think how to pick up phones, how to do things. That Gemsbach could have ripped Ted in two, could have ripped our dogs in two, and could have charged me. And again, what I want to relate this to is that for me, it's spiritual warfare. When you live amongst predators and you let your guard down for a second, this is what could happen. And praise God that nothing happened to Sadie, nothing happened to me. But I'll be honest, it took a day. I was shaken up for the whole day. And I know Sadie was too. She was afraid to go out. And I do not leave my house without a firearm on me at all times, taking my dogs for a walk, anything. I'm never going to let my guard down again. And, you know, you shouldn't either. Whether or not you carry a handgun, I want to encourage you to have eyes to see, to read your Bible. You know, a lot of people have said, well, I don't even know where to start. It's like I've been a fitness instructor since 1980, and I've actually had people say, well, I got to get in shape before I come to your class. No. Just get started. So if you're interested in finding out more about spiritual warfare, Pastor Anthony is on here every week. We decided not to have him talk about it this week. We actually had Roger Stone booked. He had an emergency. So Ted filled in, and I made the decision not to have Pastor Anthony's message, but we'll have it every week going forward. He is really the greatest spiritual warfare coach and pastor that I have ever encountered. A lot of pastors, unfortunately, you go to church and it feels like milquetoast. Like they're not giving you what you need. We need to be equipping people right now. Spiritual, you heard from Matt Landman, spiritual, and everybody who's been on this show ever has talked about spiritual warfare, light and dark, having eyes to see and ears to hear. Now, this situation with the Oryx could have ended very differently. And I learned an important lesson. I don't want to ever take my area, my surroundings for granted. And that doesn't mean just being careful of an Oryx or a carjacker or whatever it is. I honestly believe in the heavenlies, in spiritual warfare. In Ephesians 6:11 through 18, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities and the powers of this dark world, against spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenlies. That's what's going on right now, y'all. I really feel like it is. And I would love to hear from you. Send me a message at shemane.chat@gmail.com if you agree, shemane.chat@gmail.com. I've become more spiritually aware. I let my guard down. Looking back, this Oryx was just protecting its calf nearby. I don't know where it was, but my instinct in the moment was to just run away and scream and yell. And that's the best thing that you can do if you're ever in a situation, whether it's a human predator or an animal predator. And again, I've heard from my friends in Naples, Florida, you have probably seen footage of bears coming up to cars in parking lots in Naples, Florida. Here's the problem. When you build more buildings and more highways, and every year a doe has 1, 2, 3, even 4 fawns. And these animals are made to reproduce. So you keep building more and more buildings, you're taking their habitat. So what do you expect them to do? We have to learn how to manage wildlife. That's why hunting is important. Go to hunternation.org, hunternation.org. I can tell you, I'm going to be hunting some oryx coming up. You will follow me on social media, and soon, I wish. I walk outside. I take my dogs for a walk. Since this happened, I'm like, bring it on, oryx. I got you. And I tell that to Sadie. I got your back, Sadie. And to the other dogs, too. We cannot let our guard down. Most emergencies don't happen when we're prepared, do they? And if you watch that video, you see when I ran into the house, I just opened the door and I'm screaming for Ted. When Ted walks out, he's calm because I had already warned him what had happened. And he came out. He was prepared mentally. That whole scenario with the oryx rushing us, that was like what? I had 3 seconds to respond. 3 seconds. I was actually looking for a tree, but more importantly, I wanted to protect Sadie. I couldn't go towards her. So, most emergencies happen when we least expect it. And that's when things usually go wrong. So I need to be honest and own up. I didn't have my gun on me. It was right inside the door. That's not an excuse. It's a lesson. And I want you to learn from that too, because that's how God teaches us is through these life lessons that we never want. I never want any of you to go through this. That's why I'm sharing this with you. And my son Rocco said he watched it on the Ring camera. And, first of all, I said, are you okay? Are you said all the right things. But he said, you should share this. I didn't want to share it. He said, you should share this. You're a content creator. You're an investigative journalist. You need to tell people about what happened. Danger happens the moment we let our guard down. And again, thankfully, nothing worse happened. But I want to thank you all for joining me here on Faith and Freedom on this amazing, wild journey. And I want to encourage you, grab my books. I talk about spiritual warfare in Abundantly Well and Killer House. And those are both available on Amazon. 2 different stories. Killer House is about how I lost my home and my health to toxic mold, how to recognize, remediate, and recover from toxic mold. And then Abundantly Well is the book you're going to need to get you in, not just in shape physically, because that's not why I work out. If you notice, I was running from my life, and I am so grateful that I was strong enough to do that. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing this message. I am so grateful to Real America's Voice for having me. Thank you to my producer, Rodney, to the Wellness Company, and all of my sponsors.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.
America's in a fight for her soul. Our freedoms are under attack. Our values are being torn down. And the same corrupt elites who built this mess think they can silence us. The patriots who still believe in this country. Not a chance. Here at Real America's Voice, we're standing shoulder to shoulder with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, the movement that says we will not be silenced.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
And the voice of millions of patriots who refuse to kneel to tyranny. This is the movement of fighters, men and women who still believe in God, family, and the American dream. The conservative alternative to AARP.
Real rights, they come from God.
If you're ready to stand up and join the fight, go to amac.us/RAV right now. That's amac.us/RAV, because this isn't just about politics. It's about saving America. Faith, freedom, America first. AMAC and Real America's Voice, united for the Republic.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
I'm a J6er, and I spent 3 months in jail and about a year in prison.
I spent 4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been smeared and defamed by the media, persecuted by the government, and treated like terrorists.
In reality, J6ers are patriotic men and women, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers from all walks of life.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
And we need your help.
For just $10 or more, you're helping these patriots get mental, physical, and spiritual help.
Please scan the QR code or go to j6support.com to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Go now to j6support.com and donate today. President Trump delivered on his promises. The border is secure. Deportations are underway. DEI is out and meritocracy is in. America is back. But we can't get complacent. The radical left is already mounting a resistance. None of our America First agenda will be secure until we build the red wall. Donate at tprav.com or scan the QR code now to help us secure victory. Turning Point PAC is building the red wall in Arizona, Nevada, and New Hampshire, key battleground states where conservatives outnumber Democrats. We are funding door knockers who will win the next elections in 2026, 2028, and beyond. Today, we're asking for your immediate support. Visit tprav.com or scan the QR code now.